3-star review. I'm your host, 7H3 Chazzy. I'm here with my co-host,
Trev.
And my guest of the night,
Andy.
It's always good to get back in the freaking podcast, and we're up for episode 16 tonight. I got a current event we're going to hop right into. It's very recent, the unfortunate death of Charlie Kirk. He was attending a rally at a university in Utah, and was doing a not a speech, because he doesn't necessarily do speeches, but he does back and forth dialogues with people that are welcome to come up and well, he did. He used to do back and forth dialogues, and between, with political leaning questions. He's a very right leaning person, very traditional person in terms of his views. Very well looked upon by most people who identify as right. He was having a back and forth dialogue about gun violence, unfortunately, ironically, and was shot in the neck and killed. And my deepest condolences to his family, as well as his children, his wife. Every kid deserves to have a father. Every wife deserves to have a husband, and I think it's absolutely tragic that a man who stood so much for the freedom of speech, peaceful dialogue. One of his main things that he would always say is that when you stop talking, that's when things get violent. And so it's important to have dialogue. It's important for us to communicate with each other, because without that communication, communication breaks down and you lose that humane. It's very easy to look at the opposing party as not human, and so it's absolutely devastating. And there are a lot of people speculating as to what ties the assassin has to pretty much any party. Of course, the media is not really like putting it all out there, as they say. They say suspect. They say, they're not using. Of course, they're not using dedicated terms.
Especially these days.
Yeah,
Oh, we misgendered the unknown assailant.
Well, yeah, and the thing about Charlie Kirk is that, he wasn't a radical, but he was very much like. He was good at what he did. He was really good at talking to people about his beliefs, and he was a God-fearing man. Very much put God and Jesus as pretty high on his pillars, and unfortunately nowadays that's viewed as controversial. Being a religious person, being a Christian, it seems like is a big one. They very much have weaponized against Christianity. They've made religion a very divisive thing.
Well, it always was.
Since the Romans.
Yeah.
They basically invented division as a ways to, conquer their own people.
Yeah.
America's by Roman design in that sense.
100%. I think that even like the Capitol buildings in the cities, I feel like they were here before.
I have heard some theories about that.
Like there are some cities that like go.
Seen much else than headlines or basic.
Well, the media will never cover anything like that because it causes the whole system to fall apart.
They did admit in November that we reverse engineered plasmoids from the craft at Roswell in a congressional hearing.
Oh, did you see the video about that when they shot at UFO? And the Hellfire missile went through the UFO, and it looks like a lava lamp. It looks like you see the missile go through this object,
and it morphs around it,
and it kicks off 4 little pieces, and they keep moving with the object, moving at 400, 500 miles an hour, whatever it was moving at.
Have you seen? I haven't
and
seen.
They showed it to Congress, and Congress was like, "No, we don't know what the hell that is."
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I've seen the Tic Tac video. where you got the fighter planes that are intercepting, being sent out, like scrambled to go intercept this craft, and it's moving at such a speed in such ways without, like, it defied the laws of physics.
Well, it's not like a propulsion-based movement.
No,
it was a gravitational
it was a grab drive. Yeah, exactly.
Electromagnetic something or another, maybe.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I'm pretty sure that they use gravity drives that are powered by a form of crystal technology.
Well, they said that they do that. They reverse engineered it from Roswell. They said that.
Yeah, but they used element 115 and 116 apparently. Element 115 and 116, which we didn't know about.
I've never heard of those elements.
Yeah, look them up. Just Google it.
Okay.
We got it in the collider for about a split second, and that's how we knew it was an
Oh,
element.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's what the gravitational drives run off of, and if you listen, there's an interview what they did with Bob Lazar.
Moscovium, a synthetic super heavy radioactive metal that is highly unstable, discovered in 2003 by Russian and American scientists.
So is it what those find like those rods of on like Skinwalker Ranch? Because like if it's spent, it could be spent, and the byproduct of a spent whatever that thing was could be that.
And
Maybe.
elements.
The way he explained it was that the crafts they was working on they weren't as big as we think, because they were smaller beams. They were only like 3 feet tall. In this interview, where he was working on the crafts,
Sure.
and if you watch the interview, it's pretty mind blowing. I mean, the guy's not lying.
So here's some stuff about element 116. It's called livermorium. It's a radioactive synthetic element with an atomic number of 116.
Yeah, so they used
Started in 2012.
Yeah, and we didn't know about those, and Bob Lazar gave an interview talking about them before.
Well, it's like you know, shit, man. I'm a firm believer. Like in almost any conspiracy theory, there is a hint of truth. So I'm sitting here like at what point where do you consider the truth to begin and the lies to end? Is the way I see it. I mean, I personally don't believe that the footage that we see of the moon landing was actually when we landed on the moon. I think that I don't know. I can't say what effect it was staged, because we've had I believe that our superiors, what we would call our governing body, which is much more than just the American government, has far superior technology than what we think.
No, of course they do.
I mean, it's right there in the Apple logo.
Well,
It's right there because that Apple logo is that little bite out of the apple. That's a symbol of what we get. We get the little bite, just a little nibble, just a little taste of the technology that they have. I think that
even Apple, their testers are testing shit 10 years ahead of what we use now.
Yeah.
And that's been the case.
I think you told me that when you were active in the CIA, that you were using technology that was ahead of.
Oh
where you
yeah,
were.
I had smartphone maybe back in 2000. The first iPhone was 2007, I think.
I think so.
2008, around there.
Because
We were using things that would be equivalent to like an S10
wow,
Samsung,
wow.
and back in 2003 or 4. So I had to keep that screen hidden because people didn't quite get it.
Mm-hmm.
Or at that time they thought, oh shit, he's got like a GPS unit or something.
Yeah, like that's what I was
They
thinking.
were kind of
what they call
big and bulky.
They called them like PDAs.
Yeah.
That's when everything was like you had to have
Personal visual assistant.
Crackberries. Fuck, dude. Wasn't Obama like the first president with an iPhone? Because I know he had a BlackBerry, and that was like a big deal. Is he had a BlackBerry?
I mean, he was in the office basically since when they were invented until
True.
the iPhone 8. So
True.
Yeah.
probably was.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, it's going back to your point. Yeah, there is technology. They have access to technology that's way ahead, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think they're running into shit now, where they're seeing other things that are so far beyond anything they're close to.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, fuck, they can't explain it. They're showing it to Congress.
I think that that back when Reagan was in office, his administration brokered a trade deal with the aliens to trade human lives for like human like test subjects for like alien technology, and that's when the banking system all changed as well.
Wouldn't
So
surprise me.
we put that's when people's social security numbers actually became a traded entity on the stock market. So the U.S. national debt is actually held by the once you have a birth certificate in the United States, or well actually this when you have a birth certificate, that number links to an account, and then links all the way into the trust that the U.S. government has over everybody. The U.S. government has a trust built based on a trust structure that was developed back when Pope Boniface VIII was running the church, which was back during the Crusades. And so the Catholic Church really just kind of it's kind of like a reflection as to what's going on in our world right now, where we are really owned by the government. The government's a corporation. We are its employees. Your social security number is your employee number, and your social
birth certificate number is the password to get into your account.
yeah, but you can't really get into that account unless you. There's a lot of the only because that's what credit is.
Mm-hmm.
But you actually have unlimited credit, and your credit, if you do it right, you have to. It involves getting put under an LLC, a DBA, and then going in as an S corp and putting that entity out there, and that's how you actually access that credit.
Right, but before you condemn the demon of the U.S. government,
I'm not saying there's no condemnation here.
no, but
There's a point to the system.
no, exactly. But it's great that we also live in that same sort of structured country and way of life that we can always opt out.
True.
I could say, fuck it, I'm going to Wyoming or Alaska and I'm going to work on, of course, yeah, I'm going to need to sign a contract to rent a house, to rent a place. Like,
Also,
I'm going to have to live with society a little bit.
There's no
but
escape. Yeah. There's no.
There's
escape.
no full escape.
I think the crypto's gonna provide that escape.
But
yeah.
Heck, the Unabomber lived in a like 10 by 10 shed
Yeah.
for how many years and just rode into town once in a while to kill someone. He was probably happy as fuck. But
Fair.
we do have that option. I
Yeah.
mean, it's you go, look at the stuff that I don't know if you've been watching that North Korean guy that has kind of popped up now on YouTube and stuff. It's pretty interesting stuff because he's just talking. He gives interview like he holds a sign up that just says, "I'm from North Korea. You can ask me questions." And people are like, "Hey, I've seen this and this," and he's like, "Yeah, it's true."
He's asking to get dragged off.
Yeah, that's I'm like, dude. Now with Charlie Kirk.
That's just fucking crazy.
Well, in the
Do you think that there's foul play involved with that?
Oh, I know there is.
You don't think you definitely don't think it's a coincidence that like Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck.
You gotta understand that's a signal.
I think they're trying to incite violence against. They're trying to.
No, you gotta understand that's how military people make kill shots. They're aiming for right here.
I think it was.
And if you miss, which he did, he hit right here
in the artery.
Exactly. So you don't really miss.
I think it was.
Snipers won't shoot in the head, for the most part.
This cat.
This is a kill shot.
This cat happened.
You separate the spine.
Who is the suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting?
I don't even have one yet.
Well, no,
They
because
have him.
But
There is no named suspect.
no,
I told you,
because
they
it's
don't-
a
they have-
agency.
yeah,
Oh, so they right now they have their fall person in it. They have a person initially taken into custody was released after being cleared of involvement of authority or still. Oh, I didn't even know that.
yeah, there's an old dude.
Look at it
Yeah,
this
that's what I
way.
saw.
Yeah, there was an old dude, but then he had nothing to do with it. But you gotta understand, this is a basic, this is a declaration of war.
Well, yeah, because either one of two things is true. One, someone who was offended by what he said took it to
Yeah,
violence.
yeah.
Which, I mean, come on, the people.
Most people don't do that.
It
Well,
would-
and especially in the demographic that he tends to offend, it would be vice versa.
It wouldn't have been.
But-
It would have been shot there.
But also,
Yeah, it was.
It wouldn't have
was
been-
it
it was
would
a
have been in
calling
the chest
card.
most
Or
likely,
a
the easiest
headshot.
target, or the head. But more to the point is that that's someone who doesn't agree with the ideals. But just disagreeing is one thing. Someone to be threatened by them, that's a whole nother. Who is threatened by his ideals?
The whole system.
the shadow system,
The whole
that
system,
runs
yeah.
the fucking everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So who do you get to do what? You get some guy in an alphabet soup agency to go do kill shot as
Yeah.
a contractor,
Yeah.
gets paid for it, disappears, protected for life, whatever.
Yeah.
And the establishment
Countless
said
other
we can
islands
continue.
shit.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
countless islands out there. You can put someone on an island, and what you send a rib boat out there a couple times a month with
Dude,
supplies.
that guy's gone. That was that.
Yeah, that
Yeah, it was a clean shot. That was
he's,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it was 100% professional. It's also
It
you
was
gotta
one shot
understand.
too. It wasn't like a sequence of shots, right? It was
No,
just
it-
one bah. and that
You
was
gotta
it. So then it was
understand.
someone who was
in it-
definitely trained to use a
Yeah.
weapon, not like a civilian trained to use a weapon.
No, that
because
was a military training.
That kind of accuracy with just one shot and no zero shot.
Especially in a code.
Yeah, but it's also like I've been thinking a lot about I think a lot about the Vegas shootings. You know, the big one where they say that guy removed
It
his.
wasn't one guy.
No, you know it was there
There were shootings at like
there-
6 casinos that night.
there are witnesses talking about that they heard helicopters overhead, like that there were helicopters mowing people down.
Well, right, but there were also other shooters at other parts of the strip that got buried.
Yeah,
Because if that got out, then boom, Vegas no longer has
none of
tourists.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
But you know they still try to highlight the tragedy of it on the news. You know, I
Well,
notice every year, which I get that.
They
Right,
try to reverse empathize with empathy.
right, but
If you can empathize a target group of hate, then you can no longer validate their bad behavior.
I'm pretty sure.
Fucking
Well,
words, man.
Well,
I
what
think
they,
you know
what
I'm
they,
trying to say.
you, I think you guys can completely agree that they're definitely trying to target our rights.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they pretty much just said straight out of the gate, hey, you speak out against us, we'll fucking kill you.
Well, essentially, they're making an example of someone who threatens their power structure.
Yeah.
But what we have to acknowledge as the average people in America is that we're at a choice. We have to choose either tyranny by this group that plays both sides of the aisle, it's a puppet show,
For 100%,
or
yeah.
revolution.
Right.
That's what's left.
I think we're really on the edge of revolution right now.
I
think
hope
we
so.
hang on the edge of, well, I think we've been
Yeah.
on the edge, but I think this might be one thing that's going to send people into organizing.
Could be, especially with who
It's
his
part of the
fans
reason.
are.
The one thing that if I fear
Mm.
is that it's a 9/11.
Inside job.
Yes.
That's what I mean. It's
No, but
agency
more-
involvement.
It,
They're
okay, but
Do you think they're setting it up to be one?
it might not be on the left.
No.
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 It's the right.
It's everything. It's
The right
but
is
left
terrified
and
of
right
it.
are the same bird.
They are.
Yeah.
No.
It's for the show.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying
Keep
is I
people divided.
fear that this is one of those 9/11 cases that
Our government did it.
maybe not directly the president, but people around him could easily have said, "Hey, we need to get everyone riled up."
Sure.
Around us.
We need division.
No, we need our group to come together on this.
No, that's exactly right.
Oh shit.
So he
You see what
they
I'm
used
saying?
it
So
Yeah.
we're
as
going
motivation.
we're going to take out one of our own and
Yeah.
blame the
Mhm.
left.
So I tell
This
you,
is how we worked, man.
I'm on iFunny, and you
Yeah,
know
it's
that's
literally like the CIA hammer.
it's notoriously like very right leaning, and what I've seen at least
Because that was the first thing that came to my
18
mind when I
posts.
saw this, and that's what
where
scares me.
where people are like, yeah, speaking out against the left, like the left did this, the liberals did this, and I'm thinking like, I want to put a comment out there and be like, God, you guys are so fucking dumb, but like, you and I were talking the other night about fence sitters, and like that's all these people are. The people that want to blame the left or right are the fence sitters that don't really fucking have anything to do but echo what's being said in the chamber.
But to temporarily pull them
Oh,
to
yeah.
your side,
Well, yeah,
what's the best way to do that?
is to take out a
Well, you
figurehead.
have to
Well,
cr-
to create,
tension.
Yeah.
you
Like
have
an event where you have to choose a side.
exactly.
Especially one like this, at a time like this, with the
Now
world
you're
politics
thinking
like
about
this.
how the handbook works. Now you're starting to see how we see things.
Yeah.
So, we can come back to this, but I wanted to talk to Andy a little bit about his life, because Andy's a very interesting character, and he's our guest tonight. I would like for you to come back whenever you would like to. I wouldn't mind having you in next week unless Chino decides to come through as well. But I wanted to ask you, first off, a couple just basic questions. Where were you born?
Texas.
Whereabouts in Texas?
Austin.
Oh, right on. The weird city.
The weird city.
Okay, suddenly a lot of things make sense. How long did you live there?
Like 3 days maybe?
Really?
I was adopted at birth, my guy.
Really?
That's right.
So your family is not your biological family.
Right.
I didn't know that.
You
And
do
I've
now.
I've known you for years.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's crazy that you guys both have.
I was adopted
like,
at 3 years old. 3 days old. And my sisters were adopted at 3 years old. 2 or 3.
That's crazy.
And then my mom had 3 kids.
So
That's a family right there.
let's highlight a couple things about your life. First off, what is your passion? What drives your passion?
Well, I like bringing people together, community.
Okay.
You know, so any way that I can foster a community, whether that's through music, art, or conversation, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I have a very similar mentality. I like that. I like that you have that mentality of it. Where would you say in your life, throughout your life, you derive the culture? What culture had the most impact on you and who you are, and has helped you the most to give you the foundation of who Andy is today?
Oh, I don't know that there's any one specific culture. I've always been somewhat of a floater, right?
Okay.
And so never had an individual group of friends that was consistent. And
That's
through high school, I moved about once every 6 months, I think, on actual average.
Okay.
Granted, not like clockwork, but 35 times in fucking 15 years.
I was moved around quite a bit, but not
Within
quite
the
as much.
city or
No, just
other?
around the country. I've lived-
Okay,
I've
yeah,
lived in
because
like
I
7
mean,
or 8
some people
states.
move around the city,
Right.
but then others they move it
Well,
around.
so 7 or 8 different states, different times within those states.
Yeah, that's
So
a mix.
there
Yeah.
was a period where I went from like St. George to Salt Lake to Cedar City to Charleston back to Cedar City in like a year and a half. But to get back to the original question, you know, with that much travel and I guess the perspectives that I was raised to, I don't know, live from, at least as I was younger, there's a lot, but probably one of the most impactful communities or experiences I've had with community was in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
We were on a guided tour of Joburg, and 1 minute we're in the bus driving by the finance district, which is some like McLaren dealerships, shit like that. It reminds you of like almost like Miami in some ways, just like money being shown off everywhere.
Flaunted it.
Yeah, and then 2 minutes later, we're entering the district of Alexandra. And I don't know if you're familiar with it. Do you know what the districts are?
In South Africa?
Yes.
I feel like I should.
They're like counties.
Well,
I was
they're
gonna say-
They're part of
basically
apartheid,
like
right?
cities of designated poverty.
Oh.
Yeah, they're part of apartheid, right? Where they
Yeah.
started to classify them
So,
into,
yeah, it's in that general ballpark.
Right.
It's
Because
it's been a
Trevor
few
Noah
years, so I
talks.
remember
Trevor
exactly.
Noah talks about when he lived.
But the district of Alexandria is like fucking, I don't even know, half a square mile or some bullshit like that. And there's 500,000 people living there. But you want to know the difference between these two places? Only one of them had a smile on their face, and you can guess what that was. That was the kids playing with a deflated soccer ball, looking at a camera like it was some alien device, smiling, inviting us to kick the deflated soccer ball with them.
Did you do it?
Oh, absolutely. We went and saw traditional medicine man. My sister is just going through a divorce. And she got, I don't know what to call it, medicined.
Natural medicine.
And it's like somewhat voodoo, somewhat natural, like really interesting stuff.
they-
And then her divorce, which was going through all sorts of issues at that time, like resolved.
Wow. Yeah.
But
I mean,
going from a
energy's
place
crazy,
where everyone had money and status and cars and toys and they're just
Yeah.
to people who had nothing. There's 10 people living in a room this size.
There's a lot.
They're happy.
They're so
I was
much
gonna say
happier.
that
They're happy.
there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
Community.
I was gonna say there's a lot more authenticity.
Well, there's just humans being human with other humans.
There's a lot more connection.
You know, there's not, oh hey, how was your day?
That's my connection.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh cool.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the thing about the new product? Oh great.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares about all that?
I think we're getting ready to see a world that's much more like that, but it's going to be a very turbulent in between. You see what's going on over in Europe right now. Things are becoming far more right, sequestered. I say right, but I think I don't like using right and left. I think more conservative. You know, the people of Europe and Britain and the UK, they're starting to be like, hey, like this liberal ideology that we've fed so deeply into is has eroded what culture we had locally. They've taken in refugees and illegal immigrants just the same, not as at a completely larger scale than we have here in the U.S.
Well, I think there's a lot of English people that didn't so much as allow the left to enter.
Do you think it was like a permissive thing?
They just allowed it to happen and didn't say anything. And now, when the cops are knocking on their door saying, "Hey, did you tweet this?" It's like, fuck you. Yeah, like,
you know.
Did I tweet this? You're going to jail? These people are getting arrested.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
In England. Arrested for their tweets.
So to circle back around, South Africa, where you derive a lot of your culture from, your which I can see.
Well, it's definitely impactful.
Well,
I think a lot of my culture comes from a combination of the principles and understanding of what is important and what's not. From an experience like that, applied to the filter of like the EDM community and the metal community, and being around people who are constantly either expressing emotion or kind of going through something. Because the rave community, a lot of that is people going through shit and trying to find some way to explore it within themselves without feeling so judged by the outside world. The metal community is largely the same. It's escapism.
Yeah.
But what's weird is we created this community through escapism.
Right.
And now everyone's just a validated victim with no accountability.
Right.
And that's no good. But
No.
then you look at a culture like what you experience in one of the districts or in severely disadvantaged cities, even in America we have it, because you know your neighbors and you can count on them.
Right.
You don't have that when you're so worried about who's going to try to climb over your fence to get your fortune. I'm so rich.
I used to be really tight with my former neighbors that used to live next door. Great people. I loved them to death. Massive fucking stoners, you know. Just the coolest people I've ever fucking known. And now this new guy's moved in, and I've had a grand total of maybe 3 conversations with the dude in the last 4 months that he's been here. And I don't even see the dude for the most part going back and forth between his house, because I'm the kind of guy to come out and be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, we're living next to each other, are you cool? Like, is my music too loud when I'm
That's
mixing?
what community is,
You
and
know.
that's what's missing.
I think it's I agree with you. It's a huge problem that we face in the world today.
And so you mentioned that you think there's possibly some change coming.
Oh yeah.
I think you're right, and one of the main things I've noticed, at least I was living in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, so like,
Condolences.
yeah, for oh my god, so glad to be out of that place. But what you notice down there is, you know, the kids are becoming aware that shit's fucked. Not just like in the government sucks, shit's, you know, fucked, whatever.
That they're fucked
But,
too.
well, that they're fucked. And that the way they treat each other and have been treated by each other is fucked. And I think they're starting to realize that it's unnatural. They just don't have the perspective of having like lived in the 90s, playing with sticks in the fucking street, right? When the lights turn on, you go home. They've been
doing mud
a
pies
mixture,
outside all
right?
day, coming
You've
back
been a
inside,
mixture of
sunburned as fuck. Yeah, exactly.
You've been a mixture of sheltered and exposed to the worst of humanity all at the same time through this social media and censorship and all this other manipulation
not
bullshit.
real.
A lot of it's
And
a lot. Yeah.
it's not
Well,
real.
well, do you know where the word media comes from? Do you know where its origins come from? It's actually Greek.
Right.
So the Greek goddess Medea was the goddess of illusion, hence the name
Yeah, that
media.
makes sense.
So when you get on social media or when you watch the news, it's literally being told to you through the language. That book that I told you about, The Code of the Matrix, how everything's really in the language. Like media, so you go on, you guys just said it out loud, it's a social illusion. You watch the news, you're watching an illusion.
Well,
Yeah, that's why it's
vibrations,
social media.
words create vibrations, and vibrations can alter matter. It's spelling, they call it spelling because it is casting a spell.
See?
But
we talked about
there's
this
like
quite a bit on the show.
There's
Yeah.
weird things I've seen today actually, where it basically explained that cursing you know, the fuck word and all that is bad because, oh, it's taboo, but you're taught that because it breaks the spell,
Right.
theoretically,
Mm-hmm.
according to this thing I read.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why they try to teach you not to curse, because when you curse, you break the spell, you're actually able to have, I guess, some level of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're expressing your feeling, you're not censoring yourself.
Right.
The more you censor yourself, the more you just kind of sedate to whatever it is that you're trying to,
That's it.
you know, and
You understand because I know that you've been diagnosed with autism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't paid for my results, but I already know that I have autism.
Label.
Yeah, and so like masking,
Mm-hmm.
that's self-censoring, and most people don't even know it.
Well, either self-censoring or just trying to, instead of censor, we take away. It's like it's creating phantom parts of yourself to, you know, it could go either way.
Stimulating.
You know, well, it's creating a part of your personality that's completely new to try to fit into this group of people that you want to get and fit in with.
Right.
Whether or not it's genuine to yourself. So it's not censorship, but it's also not being genuine, right?
Right.
So it's kind of goes, I think, both ways. But
Right.
to get back real quick to the other point, though,
Yeah.
the kids are going to realize, and I think they're starting to, because they're starting to put their phones down.
You pick up on what we're saying.
And, well, on what we're saying, but also on what each other.
What's
You
going
know,
on.
they're starting to have community where they sit and talk again.
Yeah.
They're going out and fucking around and causing mild mischief in the neighborhoods again.
Yeah.
Which is like,
And which is well, because
cool,
there's this weird nostalgia about the 90s right now, which I think is great.
Everyone's
because,
obsessed with it, and I kind of
right,
hate it
because
too,
it's the last time that humans were really fucking humans.
Yeah.
And the kids
that's
are
my
recognizing
era.
that. Right, and I
They-
grew up
people
partly in
ask
the
me.
90s, but like,
I saw the end of it.
right, and so you see like these kids, fuck, I say like a lot. I'm really self-conscious on that right now.
It's okay.
It's like so bad, but
It's a culture thing.
yeah, it is. Florida just ruined. Oh my god! But it's yeah. So I just it's there. I think there's hope there for the first time in a long time because as they realize and start
especially if that's
experimenting.
Florida.
Well,
Like that's
right,
like that's like the lowest of the low. So if the Florida,
Shout out to Florida.
Yo, fuck Florida though.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
what's
It's like that
South Florida.
Family Guy clip where they're choking in that restaurant and like Miami Beach or whatever, and they're like, "Is there a doctor in the restaurant?" And everyone just keeps eating. They're like, "Is there a college student?" Nobody. They keep eating. They're like, high school dropout. They keep eating. And they're like, whoever gets a shrimp out of my wife's throat can have it. And they all rush over it.
Yeah. South Florida's nuts because you have two extremely different, extremely wealthy in their own ways counties sandwiching basically the working class. And you got
There's a lot
Miami,
of
which is like
immigrants,
young tech money.
Yeah.
You've got West Palm Beach, which is like old generational wealth, all right, and it shows when you go to each place.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know about it, you know it.
What
But
about,
then you got
what about
Broward.
the Keys?
Well,
You like being out in the Keys?
I've lived there for 2.5 years. I went exactly 0 times.
Wow.
I went to the beach maybe 10 times,
Do you have any
6 times at night. But the fact is that Broward, sandwiched right in the middle, is all working class. You know, there's some money there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the same as Palm Beach or Miami money, right?
Right.
And it's just really interesting to look at the culture of, let's say, this the local nightlife. There's a lot of kava bars down there. You look at what the kava bars or the non-touristy nightclubs and bars are like in Broward versus the standard bars that people go to in Miami or West Palm, and even that's just like, whoa. And I just think that the range in cultural dynamic there is just really something to look at.
Well, that's why you can have states. You're talking about the kids.
Yeah, oh yeah. And so the kids in these rich counties are just snooty.
It's bothering me.
You know, for the most part, they've got this attitude, this stink face. Oh my God, you work? You know what I mean? But then the kids in Broward who put on the entertainment, they put on the shows, they travel to these places to throw the concerts, to make the coffee shops cool, and to serve. Like, I had friends of mine who lived in like Plantation, which is an hour and change drive from Miami Beach, but they worked there at the bars, slinging drinks to these entitled brats who come in with mommy and daddy's money. Or the tech fucking sales shit. I mean, they're making good money, don't get me wrong.
No doubt.
That's it. But like, you go to a bar in Broward, like Fat Cats or whatever, and it's just a whole bunch of people in late 20s, 30s, usually working class people, just having a fucking ball singing 2000s anthems, getting hammered.
Oh, yeah.
Eating some of, by the way, the best fucking chicken strips and fries.
I can believe it.
They're so good.
So I have another question
Sure.
for you. Do you have any idols? Anyone that you would give you that significantly inspired you?
Can I use fictional characters?
You absolutely, bro. I got the Master Chief tattooed on me.
Fucking Shorzy.
Okay, I can.
All right, because that's a good dude.
But yeah. So yeah.
Let's be real.
Do you love to win?
I hate to lose.
Yeah.
Your fucking balls a top tit fucker.
Your fucking balls.
Anyways, so Shorzy, lots of good stuff there, but also fucking Ricky Stenicki.
That was a good movie.
That was a good fucking movie. And
Never
I
seen
just think it's beautiful how they basically
That was
visualized some. I mean, it's radical transformation, and it's like, you know, but it's cool, man. It's fucking cool because it illustrates. It illustrates that ultimately you always have the choice, and that's what it comes down to. You have the choice. You can be a victim or not be a victim.
Well, John Cena absolutely
What
did
a
an
guy.
insane job acting in that. Like,
Yeah, it's,
I saw that, and
that's unreal.
it made the other guys like, "Whoa, you guys better pick your game up."
Yeah, he was good.
He was
really
absolute. Like, I've never seen acting like that since the '90s.
I think John Cena does a great job whenever he's acting.
That's what we're.
I liked him
yeah.
in Heads of State too. That was him, right?
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a whole lot, but I really loved him in Peacemaker.
I haven't seen it.
No. Oh my gosh, I'm not a DC guy, but like he nails it. I mean, as to be expected from someone who's a professional performer. You know, I believe personally that wrestling is the last form of like what we could consider the theater.
Yeah.
Because like realistically,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and it's been that way since around the '90s. You know,
Well,
because you've got Broadway, and
It's
you've
a
got
soap
musicals,
opera,
but, like,
basically.
yeah,
It's
but-
what became like. There is like a cycle of TV shows in media, basically.
Yeah.
That where kids nowadays they just shorts. They know
Yeah.
7-second shorts.
And then we're wondering why ADHD is such a big
Right.
problem. But it's not so much an ADHD problem. I think it's an instant gratification problem.
Well, it's popping off like
It's
endorphin.
factors, yeah.
I think with instant gratification, with what we've been given with it, I mean, dude, think about it. Like, okay, let's take a step back. Like, it's 2024. Let's take a step back 10 years ago, 2014. Imagine doing anything besides pizza. Imagine going on your phone being like, I want fucking Olive Garden brought into my fucking house, and all I gotta do is tap some things into my phone. It's here. You know, that we weren't there yet, but you could call a place and have food delivered, or you could call for takeout.
I did this crazy thing in high school. I was in a boarding school.
Yeah, me too.
And so in order to wander freely during the weekdays, you had to be on academic honors. Well, I was, because I was a nerd. And so I realized, holy shit, these kids are always hungry. They're always complaining, why can't we leave to go get food during study hall? So I walked to the local Maverick, half mile. I stocked whatever I can carry in 2 hands. I basically carried 2 12-packs and a few bags of snacks. And I put menus up in all the dorms. And and the school permitted me to sell and deliver, and I charged a delivery fee.
Wow.
Or you could come to my room and pick it up. Sorry, girls. I had to deliver all the time because obviously they couldn't come to the dorm. But yeah, I was making, a few $100 every quarter.
I mean, props to you for being seeing scarcity. That's a businessman right there. He sees scarcity, he sees solutions.
Well, here's the best part. Then I started running a poker game in the dorms.
We would do that, and you know what? And it was definitely fucking illegal gambling because we would take our change, our coins, and we would ante with that. We would do poker.
We would do $5 buy-ins for a tournament with rebuys. It got up to like $100 a night, Friday, Saturday.
If you had a way to like get a lot of stuff, you just follow the weed guy around.
That's smart.
Yep.
You would have
I was
sold
such a square
out.
back then, though.
But what if you follow the weed guy? What if the weed guy was distributing your menus?
Honestly, like,
That's
so
smart as
the
fuck.
weed guy at this particular school was this, I shit you not, actual, like, short Chinese girl. She was like,
The least
like
suspect.
basketball stocky, but like, you know, just, I had no gator then, but maybe she was, I don't know. Just short, stocky, gay girl, and she was great.
Sorry, I got someone popping in the chat. Give me 1 sec.
Alright. But anyways.
No, keep going.
Yeah,
keep going.
so, fucking, it's the funniest thing, because I didn't really know what weed was at then. I was very sheltered as a kid.
What age were you?
Like
when
16.
So you hadn't even tried weed at this
I
point?
hadn't tried weed till I was 26.
Wow.
I didn't drink till I was 21.
What up, Chi?
What up, Chi?
Good to see you, brother.
But
Thanks for tuning into the stream, my
in
man.
any case, fucking, yeah, it would not surprise me if she was basically distributing my menu, because her dorm was I did so many deliveries.
She's like, hey, here's your weed, by the way.
I know.
I know a guy who can get the munchies later.
Yeah, it was great, and the school loved it. They fucking loved it.
Did they extort you at all?
No.
That's amazing.
No, they thought.
I saw you
was
as like a
great.
peacekeeper, probably, because you were like, you had probably less complaints if you got people that are actually like, you know.
I suppose.
Taking
Never
care
thought
of
about it
people.
like that. I was just happy to be making money. Buy my Warhammer shit.
Yeah. Fucking, that's so dope. So, we've talked about idols. We've talked about that. We even talked a little bit about what led you up here.
I love the desert.
The desert's great. I mean,
Can't beat it.
no, man. I mean, what? It gets dry, so what do? You throw on some fucking lotion and eat some goddamn fucking potatoes. You know.
Eat some fucking potatoes is right.
I stole that from you, by the way.
Did
I,
you really?
I use it all the fucking
Okay,
time.
let's
yeah,
go.
I use it all the fucking time. Like I'm like at work, I'm like, what are you gonna do? And they're like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, eat some fucking potatoes, you
Yeah,
know?
eat some potatoes and move on with my life. That's what I
Yeah.
have to do.
I mean, and 90% of people get there like, oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. At some point, I will likely eat potatoes within the next, few days. You know.
If you don't eat potatoes, I don't trust you.
What a versatile fucking vegetable. You know what I mean?
Oh, it can do everything.
Yeah, you can make chips with it. You can mash it. You can fucking put like bacon, fucking and cheddar, fucking potato skins. Like
Okay.
if they're done right, my mouth's watering. My mouth's watering. Like they gotta be good. They gotta be good. But I mean, like, okay, so you said that the best fish and chips down
Vodka.
there, hands down. What would you say?
Oh, in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah,
Well, it's chicken tenders.
chicken tenders.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite place that you've gotten to eat? When anywhere in the world, where was it?
I mean, I gotta throw a big shout out to Waffle House because
Okay.
that shit's so good.
Okay.
But outside of that, man, I fucked up 19 eggs, 18 strips of bacon, and the double waffle ones after a party when I was living in Charleston, all in one sitting. They kicked me out. They cut me off because I was gonna order more eggs.
Funny story. I've never actually even been to a Waffle
Oh
House.
fuck you!
And I lived in Texas for 2.5 years. I would
Fucked
drive
up, bro.
past them all the time.
You fucked up.
But I would say the best place I've ever eaten, and I have been there, but it's a place called I think it's Arlington,
Yeah.
Texas, called Twisted Root.
Hmm.
And they have any kind of burger you could want. You want a crocodile burger.
Okay.
You want an ostrich burger. My favorite is their bison burger. Oh my god.
So did it meet expectations?
I blew it out of the water. It's the best fucking burger I've ever had in my life.
Meet
Ah.
expectations.
Dad joke, man. Dad jokes. My man's got-
You're listing all these meats off. I'm just like, oh, it's just sitting there. I got it.
They had a steak burger that was really good too, and they had like these spicy pickles, like melt your fucking mouth. But Jesus, somehow the taste was like worth enduring that pain.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like it was great. I'm pretty sure I took my ex there once because I met her in the area. Mother of my child,
Right.
we did a lot of cool shit while we were there. But yes,
Best restaurant. That's tough though. There
what about
was.
you?
Oof. That's the thing. I lived in Texas too,
Oh yeah.
so you got, HEB Chinese food.
HEB's fucking fire.
Any of their food.
Yeah.
They'll cook the lobster and the crab for you while you're shopping. And you come back and they'll
Alright.
put whatever
I
it
didn't know
is.
that.
They'll put whatever seasoning you
Yeah.
want. And they'll season it up and you just
There's
you're ready
there's
to
so
eat.
much out
And
there
they don't
in
charge
Texas that we don't have out here. Like
Dude,
quick
Whataburger,
trips, quick trips, quick chips.
Jason's Deli, Taco Cabana.
Taco Cabana.
gosh, dude, that was so good.
They-
Alamo Cafe,
They have this.
Rudy's Barbecue, like the barbecue spots. I mean, Austin has incredible barbecue. I was in San Antonio, so we were right
They
there.
got this place called
Schlitterbahn.
Have you ever been to a Mexican Inn?
Yeah.
Those shits are fire. They got some dope Mexican food down there. I'm not the biggest fan of Tex-Mex food. My ex used to work at one.
Well, it's also about the portions, because everything's bigger in Texas.
Huge
That's
portions.
it was.
I mean, you can understand why they're
unreal. Like
a
they're
lot of people
doing
out there got that
86% of the
gut, you
are.
know?
Oh man, that's one of the funny things is my high school. There was only like 4 or 5 girls that were considered pretty.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3,600 kids at the school.
That's unfortunate.
That's
That is
bad.
unfortunate. Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
like,
but it
Yeah.
kept us like from being distracted from girls.
That's
I
good.
suppose. That's
So the
good.
guys were like, we could accomplish so much
Is that
more.
why your football teams are so good?
That's one of the reasons.
Well, I went to
That and we put the girls as linebackers in the games.
Well, you mentioned boarding school. I went to a military boarding school. It was an all boys school.
Now you're just flexing.
No, but I was agreeing with you because like we didn't have girls to distract us.
Yeah,
so,
so you get so much more
yeah,
done.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's when my
Not because girls are bad. It's
No.
because at that age, that's
They're-
all you
Well, they're
think
too
about.
good.
Well,
Because
yeah.
it's just like, damn, that's all
I don't want
want.
someone thinking that
Girls.
we're knocking like we're the toxic white males.
fucking Daryl popping a chubby because he fucking during the Canadian national anthem.
Oh my god.
And his fucking excuse
Stop.
is you give a young boy any idle 30 seconds he's gonna get a boner. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
So I mean, like, and that's back when your fucking hormones are.
Oh, that stupid fucking show.
I fucking love that show.
No,
The funny thing-
The other one. The hormone monster one. What the
Oh,
fuck? Big Mouth?
Big-
Oh my god. Why is that what popped in my head when
I-
you said hormones?
I
Can I acid wash my brain?
I liked the first 2 like seasons of it, but then they just went way too much with it. It was like I did think it was funny. I was like, yeah, dude fucks his rug. Like that's pretty fucking hilarious, you know. Like, but like, there's a lot of shit that like now I don't know. I feel like a lot of modern day media kind of like is like gets off on just honing in on like the extreme, the grotesque, the not even the grotesque, but like
Because storytelling is dead.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
That's
exactly.
the only way
Now,
to render a reaction anymore. Is look at this visual effects we created. Oh.
Here's your 7 cock joke, you know,
Yeah.
of the fucking show. Did you laugh? Oh, well, here's why you should have laughed. Here's a description of the joke. By the way, that's the joke again. Isn't it funny that we're self-aware? We
Okay,
broke the fourth
Deadpool.
wall. Yeah, exactly. You know, like where did modern storytelling go? It's just such a
we went
bummer,
into
you know.
the mini-series.
Yeah.
You ever seen these limited series that like Netflix and other places are putting out?
Mm.
That's where good writing went, if you ask me. The movies are lame.
Oh,
Marvel
movie-
can suck it.
Yeah, Marvel.
But like,
But now they got their fucking. They
Hollywood,
had. Well, I mean, like, and you and I talked. We've talked about it before on the podcast, where it's like AI poses such a threat to what
Hollywood's
Hollywood
dead.
is. Yeah, Hollywood's on its way out. I think what we're.
it's been looping the same.
No,
story
but
for
now
10
it's
years.
like 6
Yeah,
months.
we're seeing
Yeah,
like
now
the
it's
death throes
like-
of it. What I think, and TikTok's a big thing for that too,
This
because
is when you're like choking something or someone, and they start shaking, and then the
Yeah.
well, the internet has redefined, you know, the word celebrity,
they're on
because
the edge.
Well,
because I can mention just like PewDiePie or like Markiplier, and like 85 to 70% of the people that would mention that to would know who that is, or at
But
least
see,
would
it
have an
creates
idea.
it creates circles for all of us,
Yeah,
fitting within, and some of our circles overlap,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like a big ass Venn diagram, you know.
well, it's also interesting to know, you know, in the 90s, you would remember this. Being a celebrity or being famous was like the downside, the unfortunate
Yeah.
downside of being really good at something.
Right.
And you look at the kids now, and it's the goal.
Everyone wants to be famous.
Exactly. And so there's
Well,
a couple of things.
and that-
One, it reduces the value of being famous. So you don't get these mega celebrities like you did in the 90s.
Right.
Because everybody and their dog is a fucking influencer.
Exactly,
Literally.
yeah.
And their dog.
Yeah.
And so it has that effect.
Dogs being
But at the
nice.
same time,
Shout
it
outs.
also changes, you know, your response to, you know, the idea of being famous. You know, everything's about the going viral. You know, it's not how can I be genuine to myself, it's how can I get the attention of a million people for 5 seconds.
My thing is, I post a lot of memes. Like, that's what I do. I farm memes. I go and look on iFunny and I look on a bunch of other forums too.
Yep.
And I honestly just post things that made me laugh. Like, I mean, definitely, you know, I want my view count up. I want this up, but it's like, there are times where I get fucking, you know, 85 views on my meme, and like for a split second there, that old energy kicks in. Why isn't anybody looking at it? Like, well, fuck it, dude. Like, people still come onto my fucking TikTok channel, and they go back and look at my old shit. And so like, I've come to terms with like, if it makes me laugh, if it's funny to me, like, I want people. I will do anything to make someone smile. Like people come into our work. And my main goal, like, I'm always trying to fucking make people laugh.
Yeah.
You know, I always have a one-liner that I throw in. You know, hey, you know, just do me a favor, keep the bag sealed till you make it to where you're gonna go, and when you get there, get fucking rich. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And there are people that are just like, there are people that give me a chuckle, and they're like, good instructions. I'm gonna follow that one. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that, and going with the authenticity. You know, I feel like that's what we're getting towards. You know, that's what we've lost in the last,
15 years.
24 years. It was a gradual loss, but I mean.
You want to know something interesting about the 90s that you guys probably really don't realize is that our mindsets were different too, because there was a shift at some point in the 2000s, and I don't know when and where, but in my generation, in the 90s, when we're growing up, if you had ADD, if you had any of these things, if you're bipolar, all of that was looked at as like a weakness.
Right.
So our attitude was like, fuck, I don't have that, I don't have shit, I don't have, fuck you.
I tell my mom.
And we didn't have those issues. We didn't have them. Because people would overcome them.
Well, yeah.
Well, there was more of a survival requirement. You had to.
Well, like now it's
but it was a mindset. So when you're talking about, you know, the kids in the 90s as well, that's where the attitude's coming from.
Choosing whether or not you want to be a victim of circumstance.
You were talking about the raves and
all of us in that era it was a complete opposite. None of us were like, oh, well, I have this issue.
No, you
it's
wouldn't
like,
say that because you're a target.
Bitch, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
It's like
nowadays, it's like, oh my god, so I'm like ADHD, and it's like, all right, good for you. But why are you bragging about it?
Right.
Why are you making an identity out of it? That's not you.
That's the problem. Is like people have made victimization their mentality. Not even their mentality, but their whole personality.
So much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I'm all for like equal opportunity and all that, but I mean, like, I was with a gal for about 6 months, and any time that she would have a meltdown or a breakdown, it was, oh, I have autism, and so like you kind of have to be okay with this. And I'm like, I mean, I'm sitting here, I've got autism, I get big feelings. You know what I do when I get big feelings? I go and fucking be by myself for a minute and handle it. You know, I feel like and that leads to that, like, you fucking dealt with your problems. Like, I went to a military school.
But you know how much smarter that made us? Like, how much...
Well, it made you guys far more capable as individuals.
Resilient, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting dropped off at 20 years old in another country to help take it over. Like, what are 20-year-olds doing today? Like, they don't know how to tie their shoes.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. So it created a generation like it was a perfect time, and that's why there's so much nostalgia, because there's that perfect moment before we jumped off the event horizon.
Well, I think what it boils down to is, like, back then people were concerned about themselves, actually who they are. It comes with that authenticity, and now people are more concerned as to how they appear.
Well, let's take it a step. That's another layer in.
Yeah.
That's community.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, because when you're worried about how you look, you're not worried about
anyone else around you.
No, it's just you.
Vanity.
Yeah.
It's vanity. But when you're worried about, hey, am I being true to myself?
Or if you're worried about
am I being good to the people around me?
Right. Yeah. Hey,
that creates community.
Chuck's fucking dog just died. That's fucking sad. That
Right.
made me feel
Let
sad.
me go over
So,
by his place
yeah,
later, bring him a
yeah,
6-pack.
exactly.
You know.
We
Sit
were,
down and talk about
Right,
our dogs.
or not.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he doesn't want it, but
Yeah.
yeah, same idea.
But-
you go see you go see a human as a human.
Exactly.
Nowadays, oh, let me just send this meme real quick. Can you believe we just sent this to this person? Oh my
Yeah.
god, let me get secondary validation.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, rage baited him. By the way, I rage baited him.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many. Everyone's got. I think like everyone now is looking for a fucking label.
Oh, they're looking for a dopamine hit.
Well, yeah, and I mean that also comes with like the idea of that instant gratification. I mean,
Well, right?
how easily is it for you to like? Okay, it's real. I'll be the first one to admit as a man. You know, I have an issue with porn. I don't have an issue. Well, it's an ongoing issue. It never goes away. That addiction never goes away. I mean,
you don't say that.
well, I mean, you can
always change habits.
you can change your habits, right? But like the problem with the internet being there is for me, it's one tap away and I can be there.
But
You
you
know?
always have
But
a
you're
choice
saying-
not to.
you're-
Well, yeah, exactly. It's a personal choice. You know?
No, I know, but you're saying that it will always be there.
Well, not.
And I'm saying it is not.
Well, I don't
When
think.
you get to a certain age, your body starts telling you, like, oh, that stuff that you used to care about, we don't care about that anymore.
I will argue against you on that because my stepdad,
I'm feeling it.
who's around your age, he still has an issue with porn.
Oh,
He's-
yeah, it's different in every. Yeah.
It's not about age.
People hit that.
It's about how you grow as an individual.
So you're talking about maturity.
Well, it's a combination.
It's
a version of
It's a
maturity.
combination.
No, it's a drop also in testosterone.
Yeah, so you get.
Yeah, there's a physical too.
Yeah,
Because
but
your
there-
physiology will change.
Your
and what you're
physiology
attracted
changes.
to will change.
I mean, but then.
And you get lazier and everything hurts when you get up in the morning.
Mhm.
And you're not thinking about getting a hand job from the blonde chick.
Well,
You want your damn cheeseburger.
let's use my father as an example because my father was like scum of the earth, like literally lived off of government assistance for most of his life because he broke his back and claimed disability. And what he did, he was still able to work. He could have worked, but he was just lazy. The dude literally, no, he didn't give a fuck. He was a sociopath. He didn't give a fuck. He was just looking for the easiest way to get through life. Literally, the dude I would sit. This dude lived in a 1-bedroom apartment that my grandmother owned. He lived off of her fucking dime in that apartment, and I would go and see him on the weekends because I lived with my grandmother for a few years in Northern California, and I would see him. He would be looking at fucking porn on his computer in front of me. He would be looking at his escorts. He would call me over and have me look at pictures of the girls that he was gonna fuck. Like, and then I would hear him, like, around the corner fucking snorting cocaine. And he would act like, oh, he doesn't know what's going on. Like, and then he would come in, like, fucking high on the cocaine, talking about, there's one time he came in with my ex, he was like, hey, my freaking neighbor, the Mexican guy that I'm pretty sure he was scoring cocaine for my dad, they were doing it together. Hey, let me sell him your Xbox, and I'll get you a new Xbox next week, you know, type shit. And so it's like that motherfucker, like he never got out of that mentality. No matter how much he matured, he's stuck into that. Now that's a personal choice.
Sure.
We can agree on that.
But what it comes down to is when you're
But if
trying
you
to
got to
escape
70,
that hard.
80,
you know?
there's a point.
No, he got to be. I think he died, and he was like.
Right, but I'm saying if he ever got to those ages, there's a physical, like, there's a point where it's just physically impossible.
To be that upset all the time.
You just don't care.
I feel like if you're living right, that's the case.
Even if not, at some point you just give up on fighting the world around you.
Yeah, physically you just,
Some people just accept it as their part of their life too.
Right.
like, I would rather spend the time watching the football game highlights than watching porn.
Well, yeah, no.
It's more exciting to me.
Well, also, like you did.
And you don't have that physical, like,
But you didn't grow up in a generation that, like, I started watching porn in fucking middle school. I would go on my Nintendo DSi up to where I could pick up the.
I grew
because
up
my
building.
grandmother was a
I grew up
fucking
building
H.
computers, so we had access to porn.
But I
Like,
mean-
it wasn't a novelty.
But I mean,
I was 13 years old downloading JPEGs, like, on my 14.4
I'm
motor.
telling you, like, I was able to take my Nintendo DS.
When I got my 28.8,
Go-
dude, I was ready to go.
I was able to go. I would go up to the like just within range of the neighbor's Wi-Fi. Get on their Wi-Fi. Boom. Pull everything.
Rub one out. Yeah.
No. I would pull it up, close my system, bring it back to my house, because my grandmother is a fucking ancient fucking like. The lady still had an answering machine type shit.
Nice.
And so like and by the way her answering machine was the best because it would say, "Hey, this is me. You know it's me. If you don't know me, if you know me, leave a message. If you don't know me, don't call again." Like it was great. And I love that. But but I had and like I remember the first porno I ever saw. My cousin brought over a fucking porno tape. He fucking stuck it in the bottom of my fucking VCR TV combo, and then we watched it in my fucking room, and like that was my introduction to porn. I watched porn with my friends. Like it was involved. Like it's a temptation for me. But now I've gotten away from it for so long. Like I'll go back and relapse every now and again, but like never back to the.
Then you see a pattern.
Yeah.
Where's it gonna end up?
Well, exactly. And I feel like that's pattern recognition. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, well, and there were times.
So sometimes you just know that you're in a pattern, you're gonna get to somewhere. Why don't you just jump ahead in life and fucking get there now? That's what I do on a lot of
instant
shit.
gratification. That's why.
Because I know I'm growing. It's a growing process. So if I see the end result.
Well, because I feel like it's also not gratification to skip to it because it's hard work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also a dopamine hit. That's like.
Well, but it's a healthy one.
Yeah.
Because you're working hard to change a negative behavior, or let's just say negative. Maybe something you.
No, I'm saying if it leads to something healthy.
Well, sure, just get there.
Just get there and start doing the healthy thing now.
It takes work to do that.
It takes falling back down that rabbit hole.
Well, it just takes making decisions that you don't want to make. Yeah. I really want to go gamble after this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go gamble after this.
I'm so fucking proud of you for that.
You know what I mean?
I tell people about the night that you and I went and played blackjack. We were supposed to go play a couple hands at the table.
Oh no!
I had never. You pulled the maximum amount you could out of that ATM.
Yeah.
I lost all my money. You're like, here, you slid me money so I could keep playing with you, and we lost everything that you pulled out. And I remember we were driving home, and it was a cycle. You were like. We were driving back to my house and you were like, fuck, you were like getting all sad about yourself. And I said, hold on. I said, you're a big boy, man. I said, you went and pulled that money out. And I'm so proud to see you have come that far because like.
Oh, I used to be like so out of control when I would lose money like that. Oh boy.
Well, I mean, but like, it's very easy to lose hope when you give in to an addiction.
Well, sure.
I mean, like, this is a hard one for me to kick. I've been dealing with this for years. And so like,
Because it's multiple stimulations of addiction.
Right.
I mean, you got the motion, you've got the actual chemical,
mm-hmm.
You've got the social effects of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really hits you in a bunch of different ways.
I have great conversations in the smoke area, but when I wasn't vaping, I would go sit in my car and fucking meditate. And so like, you have some give and take on it,
Always.
And I didn't have my phone for 2 days, and it made me realize just how into that I was. I mean. I went to the bathroom and my first thought is, where's my phone? I'm gonna sit there and fucking scroll while I'm dropping a shit, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't do that. What am I gonna do while I'm taking a shit? It's nuts, just the level of.
Well, we can't handle boredom.
Well, yeah,
that's a big thing of our generations and younger.
We need stimulus.
We do, but that also devalues the stimulus and it puts us in a steady decline of depression
because
nothing has that nostalgic, euphoric feel to it anymore.
That leads back to that you're like that loss of community that we've seen in the last.
Right. Well, we're always looking for the next big step, and we think getting famous is the step. We have bought that agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And people are chasing it.
Yeah.
And so they're just hurting themselves and others. You look at the music scene in South Florida, for example, there's like 13 different promotion companies all promoting dubstep in the same fucking city. And none of them are having any of their artists get out of South Florida. You know why? Because they all support each other up until they're competing, and then they stab each other in the back. And then they go back to being best friends again right afterwards because, oh, well, fuck the industry anyways. It's so toxic, right? It's so fucking phony.
Shout out to dubstep making a comeback, by the way.
Yo, bro step, let's go.
Dubstep and bro step are some of my favorite genres. It is so awesome to be able to turn on my Discover on my Spotify. And bam, there's some new shit. Bam, there's the, like, hey, Flux Pavilion just fucking re-released I Can't Stop under his own record label.
Well, also,
and he's doing what Taylor Swift did. He said it's Flux's version.
Yeah.
He's marrying a football player?
I don't know about that.
But Taylor is.
But Taylor is, yes. But what Taylor Swift is doing in the music industry is like what we're seeing, I think, in terms of all form of media, is that the establishment around what we would call like fame is dying. Like the day and age of independent creators, be it musicians, be it movies, be it film, be it film, movies, video games even now. I mean, you see, I mean, what? EA comes out with fucking a new FIFA game every year, and fucking or you've got Sony with this $500 million game that they launched called Concord, and it flopped. Because it was fucking golly slop. Because it was trying so hard.
You say golly slop?
Oh yeah.
That's a great fucking word.
I love golly slop because it's dog shit. It was a dog shit game, and they poured $500 million into this game, and it flopped. But then you have this game, Helldivers, that came out from this independent studio, Arrowhead, and it doesn't have microtransactions. I mean, it has things that you can buy in the game, but it directly influences the game. And there's no competitive nature to it. It's a cooperative game where you and four friends team up and are a part of this like huge military, this super Earth, and there's a huge role play community around it. And it came out of nowhere. The game was the first game that they released was a top-down twin stick shooter, and this one's a third-person shooter, and it's taken the gaming industry by storm. And it's like we're seeing people wanting to go back into this. Like the industry has lost its creative taste in everything. We talk about film, everything. Yeah.
But then you get to speak on that. You see these really simple games that people love, like Game Beasts or Boomerang Fu. You know, fucking Minecraft, or what was Among Us.
Oh yeah.
All right, that one was huge.
Pop culture, but that one's still huge.
But once you look at these games. What happens in these games? You're interacting with the humans instead of just interacting with the game. Why do you think people fucking love it so much?
Yeah.
Because, how are you going to get me with that boost in fucking whatever game? Oh, how'd you do that? What'd you just do right there? Is that you? Is it you?
Yeah, you know, you can jump on and play like Parcheesi and stuff with other people.
Nice.
Play chess. I'm a big chess nut.
Yeah, chess.
Yeah, it's because of the social. You're right about the social aspect.
ZZYZX.com is Cards Against Humanity, I think.
It'll be good if they start going back towards that. Yeah, of course.
I think we're seeing that. Yeah.
We are. Conversation bits are coming back. People are putting their phones down, unlike me.
Well,
I think my friend just found me on your.
Yeah. Sick. That's tight.
Anyways, yeah. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, man. I mean, what we're really seeing, we really are seeing the change, and I've been telling people it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying there's not going to be violence because like they want so hard to hide behind their curtain of fucking safety. Like we don't know what the fuck's going on with this Epstein file list. Like we don't know what the fuck's going on with these charged.
The scariest thing to them is us being together.
These charged. Well, I mean, but like these charged killings that they're conducting.
Yeah.
That lady, that Ukrainian refugee that was stabbed on the train.
Yeah.
These are declarations of war.
And it's not even declarations of war from like left versus right. It's pretty much like evil versus good.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary to think about the fact that like we're about to see, because like really realistically you think about it, and evil's been in charge of the world for a long time.
Well, it's getting to the point where evil's killing. That's final.
Mm-hmm.
So in the great scheme of things, that's the ultimate end. You know, they couldn't go any further, really.
Do you think it's like esoteric in nature?
I think it's the kind of like battle cry for what's to begin.
Let me rephrase that. Do you think it has an esoteric foundation?
I think it has the foundation in basically psychopaths or those aligned with that type of neurological build, all right, have gotten into positions of power and realized, oh, I will lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, and otherwise be a bad person to get to this position I want, and we, the good people, will just kind of let it happen.
Right.
You know,
it's kind of,
and so now they're not just running, you know, the local gang in New York, 5 families. Now they're running entire fucking countries.
Exactly.
All right, and you look at the behavior pattern of that. All right, now you have these establishments of these 10 trusted individuals, let's say, who have immutable control over these million people.
Because
let's
they're busy
say.
playing FIFA.
Because we're busy fighting each other over another colored them.
or hey, I love that sports team. Or,
Oh yeah,
or
sports.
Or different, like
Right.
I was talking about this I think a couple episodes ago, where I was talking about like how realistically all modern sports like the NBA, the MLB, the fucking NFL, those are just modern versions of the
Right.
Coliseum to keep the masses satiated while
Well, sure.
the people like it's a classic case of distraction. Look at this while we fuck up this shit over here. Hey, we fucking bombed the shit out of this country because their ideals, or there's a terror group, but like realistically, like likely story is that an alphabet organization.
Yeah, but you
fed
have people
that.
watching it and the people in it. And the people in it are chasing perfection.
Yeah.
Like, they're about being the best of what they do.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's arbitrary, because every sport kind of is.
Right.
In the grand scheme of
Well,
things.
yeah, but I mean,
But they're in it to grow, to be better.
Well, sure.
I think
Sometimes some of those
initially-
guys will use it as a platform. So if other people, you're saying, yeah,
But then you got like the Tom Brady's, where it's like that motherfucker knows what the NFL is, because I personally think that most major sports are staged. Like that's why these teams, they practice drills. I don't think they practice drills to be better than the other team. I think they practice drills so they can practice how the next game's gonna show up. And I don't think everybody's in on it. I don't think everybody's
Are
in
you
on
kidding
it.
me?
Well,
Everyone's in on it. The casinos are in on it. Why do you think sports betting is so big? They can predict the lines.
No. I'm talking about the people at the bottom. Like, oh, this
The players?
rookie just got into the
No.
team. But like, I don't think it's a coincidence that they pay these fucking sports stars millions of dollars.
Well,
that's the same as the record deals where
Well,
you sell your soul.
It goes back to the bully thing, okay? These government and shadow institution structure dudes who are running everything, that's just one of their weapons, their tools, okay? And, you know, when you look at it, they've got like a bajillion of them.
Yeah.
All right, they've created an entire culture surrounded by these tools, which they manipulate, and by effect, they then manipulate us. Okay,
Right.
and the only way in which we, as a people, get out from under that, okay, is to stop playing that game. Oh, you want your fancy football players to distract us? Well, we all love every team. Fuck yeah, we are not fighting anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you want us all to like the music? All right, we're either gonna whatever. We have found a way to be all cool with each other. A united America is the scariest thing for those in charge, because how do you defeat a bully? You gang up against him.
Well, love creates a world that they can't control.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Because they want everybody to live in fear.
yeah.
I mean, fear makes you the easiest person to control. Look at COVID.
Well, right.
I mean,
Which is just an extension of what they're using to try to get us to get masks, no masks. You know, vaccination, no
well,
vaccination.
I think there were multiple things behind COVID,
Lots.
but I think that the masks were like a symbol, because like if you look, okay, so like there's a couple things. Okay, in Egyptian theater, actors would wear that kind of mask when they were acting up on stage. When they had you do that nose swab test,
Mhm.
it was a regular punishment for slaves to have something similar done up their nose like that in the days of Kemet, in the days of like old Egypt. They would do that as a form of torture. I think it's all symbolism.
Yeah, sure.
COVID, certification of vaccination identification.
You might as well have a gold star with your number on your arm.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was another way for them to say, papers please.
Well, that, and it's another way to see, all right, what percentage of the population do we have under our control?
Exactly. And then you saw, like, during the lockdown, these hundreds of millions of people took to the streets And the governments realized we can't do this.
Well, so they just staged these things. They would put piles of bricks in cities that they knew were vulnerable, and try to instigate it so they could bring martial law into play.
Well, I mean, back during the 2016 elections, back when Obama was in, and George Soros was funding huge organizations of like Antifa. There's no coincidence that, I mean, I remember there was a huge riot, and they took out all these small businesses, but it just so happened that like some crucial documentation that like could have incriminated Hillary Clinton
got destroyed.
And it was just that strip mall was destroyed, and everything around it was fine. It was
so they're creating their own cover.
False flags.
Yeah.
Because you know how that works.
Oh yeah.
You basically start a coup to cover up your own, recon.
And I worry that that's what I worry that
Well,
that's what they're trying to do right now.
Of course,
especially with this Charlie Kirk situation. That's a false flag.
Well,
I mean, it's a travesty, devastating, absolutely horrible, right?
No, but
here's the thing:
Yes.
there's good and there's evil,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gotten so bad and so big that it is now reached like kind of a precipice of a war.
It's coming.
Yeah.
And so
We either
it's
have
gonna be
tyranny or
something
revolution.
that you guys aren't really like imagining.
There's a big split coming. And
The splits. It's kind of the divides already happening.
And it's not left versus right.
It's good versus evil.
It's good versus evil. It's
no, and that's my point. Is that
Evil
they're
has
seeing
multiple
it.
toys, though.
They're seeing it.
Yeah, but the cool thing about good is that we have these fucking angels and guides that fucking move us through this world in such a way that so there's a conspiracy that I really feed into, is that back in the 80s, the government, that's the 70s and the 80s are where the government made those brokering deals with the aliens, right? And got that technology that put us forward. And that one of those technologies was a computer that you could plug anything into, and you would get an accurate answer. And they kept plugging in these queries about how to control the government, how to control the people. Hey, what happens if we do this? What happens if we do this? And no matter what they plugged in, it always led to the people waking up. The Great Awakening that's coming cannot be stopped, and there will be a lot of fence sitters that will probably identify with either side just because they feel like they have to pick a side, but they won't be 100% into it.
Well, that's the divide.
Well, but
That's
also,
the divide, is the fence sitters getting off the fence.
But and it's not because they feel a necessary connection.
No, because it's coming to war.
Because
they have to pick a side.
They have to
have
pick
you
a
all
side.
ever heard of the
The war's coming. It's like, which side are we on? We stay in the middle, we're dead.
Yeah, like if you're fodder at that point.
Yeah, you're a dead man's zone.
What do they call that? Collateral.
Collateral
damage.
damage.
Yeah.
Well, and you look at there's this great video that showed something on how to start a movement.
Mm-hmm.
All right, at like the Gorge, that amphitheater where they do Base Canyon, et cetera, et cetera. And there's this one guy dancing and acting a fool, right? And fucking next thing you know, one other guy goes up, and it explains all of this in depth about how you have to validate that first supporter. And that because you do that, make him feel an equal, then other people will start to join. And sooner than later, you're actually part of the minority by not joining, right? And so you look at how the divide happens. All these small divides have been happening, but the big one is coming.
Yeah.
And that is going to be where the two alignments are
That's
for
when it
whatever
first starts
conflict is
cracking.
coming.
That's what's going on right now.
And it's really funny because when I was in high school and coming into early college, I was constant. My time frame was a bit off. I said within 5 to 10 years. It's turned out to be 10 to 15. But I was saying that we're going to have some sort of Civil War 2.0 in America between ideals. That is going to be when international enemies of ours will try to make their attack on America. And Civil War 2.0 will turn into World War III. And it'll be up to whether or not we've destroyed ourselves first as to whether or not we come back from that.
Well, I think first off, I feel that we've been helped. Like, another thing that when COVID hit, I did a lot of online research, especially for the 45 days that we were locked down. I spent it in a room by myself, like I was alone in my room. And all I did was look at the internet and just start looking things up. I was looking up like Operation Northwoods, the shit the government does to control us.
Yep.
Do you guys know what the Milgram experiment is?
Oh, I've heard this one. Remind me.
So the TED Show does a great job of illustrating it. You know, he's in a bar. It's a Halloween event. And he says, you want to see, Ted says, you want to see something really crazy? You know, Ted's the teddy bear. You guys have probably seen Ted, right?
Yep.
And he's like, watch this. And he says, everybody wave your hands in the air. Everyone's yell, yeah. Let's invade Poland. And then they're all, yeah, you know. And so it's like, you know, people, you know, you make people feel good. You can kind of convince people to do anything.
Well, Christopher Titus made an excellent point on this, on these presidential campaign things. They're all like 3 syllables. If you can break it down to 3, you can make anyone believe in it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Like, it's like, you know, you just go da 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 da.
Yeah.
You know, in
If you can start a chant,
you know,
yeah.
if you can start a chant, you can make it work. He had
Build the wall.
yeah, build the
wall.
yeah. He had
exactly.
a whole line of those. I can't remember them because you know he's the comedian. I'm just me.
Yeah.
But
no,
it was wonderful.
Comedy,
It was fucking wonderful.
Comedy, I feel like
They tell us the dark truth.
needs to be protected at all costs
Yeah.
because I feel like comedy is the best way.
You tell that to Britain, they're arresting comedians.
They're arresting anyone that speaks out against that speaks out against anyone. You know,
They're gonna end up locking themselves in prison, just because like
They're
we
gonna-
broke the law too much. Like they're that stupid.
I think what they're gonna.
They're
end up-
that fucking stupid.
I think what's
man.
gonna end up happening is they're gonna cause people to fucking it's gonna start with the French, bro. It always starts with the French, bro. They're gonna break out those fucking guillotines.
Well, but then they're gonna start waving the white flag right after. And
Well-
ask America to come help them.
Well, that's not the French people are a very ambitious people.
Well,
Yeah,
right?
but not militarily.
No.
The French are having elections next year,
Mhm.
and Macron just gave over the power
Mhm.
2 days ago. And we don't see any of this because like we're seeing assassinations, right? Like
We're
we got.
pay attention over here. Exactly.
Yeah,
It goes-
Well, no,
there's
there's
media.
so much happening.
Well, yeah.
It's not like they're
No.
doing this to get our attention. This is like
Well, I would say they
everything's moving so fast, and we have instant access. That's one thing in my era. We didn't have instant access
That's
to
that. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
I had to go ask a PhD doctor if I wanted an in-depth explanation of how the brain worked.
I think it's SAI now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's completely different
Yeah.
mindsets.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like that goes back to like what I was saying about the porn. Just the instant gratification is a problem that we have right now. And I mean, like people, I feel like people want something to identify with. You know, I mean, who doesn't? You know, that's how we find our form of community. It's like common identity right now. You know, oh hey, fuck Donald Trump because he's fucking kicking immigrants out of the country and.
Well, we can
My
also
friend-
find
my-
community based on location.
Right. Well, yeah, I agree with you there, but we've lost that. And I would say it's.
But I
Because
think-
it's
yeah, I
too
think-
easy
yeah, I
to
think
get up
you're-
and move somewhere the fuck else to try
I
to
think
find
we're on
people
the
to run away
verge of
from your
getting that
problems.
back, though. Like you were saying.
Localized.
I think so.
I think it's moving towards that.
It
I
is. And you see these
But
projects happening.
it takes people like us to help.
Well,
you know.
help cap. Well, I mean, like I feel like what the 3-star review and well, not just even just the 3-star review, but
Well, to your kid, I talked to my son.
yeah.
It's about teaching the next generation, not just a podcast.
Well, it's like I feel like the old ways of division are dying. My daughter likely won't understand what religion is because I'm not religious. Her mother's not religious. We're
Only
spiritual.
from like an outside.
We're-
The thing
we're
is, some of
spiritual.
those things go in cycles,
Yeah.
Right.
where it's like 2 generations deep, then it repeats itself.
Yeah.
It's someone's born, it's like they are super religious, and you're like, what the hell? You know, you came from an atheist family.
Well, I mean,
And they're like, that's why.
we're in Gen Alpha.
Because
right
we,
now, you know,
the
so-
opposite creates the opposite, kind of.
Well, you know, I have an interesting theory on that. And it's a little long-winded, but hear me out on this.
Okay.
I view the cultural and just say, however you also want to identify the traits that you're talking about that come and go, whether racism is in or out, whether hatred is in or out, whether X, Y, and Z is in
Bell
or out.
bottoms,
Okay.
and I mean,
Whatever
it
it
comes down to
I
fashion.
think that in fashion, music, anything, it's everything.
Dubstep.
Identity.
Dubstep, right,
Identity.
whatever, any
Yeah.
sort of it comes in waves,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
but each
yeah.
wave has a different wavelength,
Yeah.
all right, and there's an overall balance of all of the wavelengths, however fucking many there are,
Right.
all right, And basically, let's say that like there's 13 of them that are on the bottom, but those are the smaller ones, and there's 2 really big fucking ones that are at the top. They just happen to keep it okay. We're above the middle line. But then these ones all change, and all of a sudden we're turbulent, and we're way the fuck down here somehow. Okay, but every once in X many fucking probably thousands of years, all of them align at once and go shut boom.
I think that's what we're hitting.
I think we're in one of those big uns, if not the big un.
I think we are. Well, I mean, like a lot of like. So I would call myself a light worker, and I don't believe my soul originates from here on Earth. I believe, I can't even say believe, I know that I came from somewhere else, and that I came here to be a part of this. At this point in time, I came here to be a part of this because we, like you just said, that's one of those big moments. We are about to see the biggest metamorphosis of humankind happen in the next 3 generations. And we will likely live.
Honestly, probably next 1.5.
Well, I think I don't think, but the second and third generation. Well, we're going to see the change, right? We're going to see the huge change.
We're going to make it.
But we aren't going to. I don't think that you and me. I don't think we'll live to see the 100%, the whole 100% like fruits of our labor. But
we'll live long enough to live in hope when we're dying.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll live long enough to see to start to see the reconstruction.
Yeah.
To see what happens after this.
Concerts without cell phones again? Oh my God, please.
I think that I think we're going to see technology move to a more natural stance, where it's going to be like people will not be focused on their phones
you mean
so
like
much.
we should ask ourselves, I know we can do this, but should we?
Yeah. It'll be a time of conscience. And even right now, and it's like these kids now, they come in knowing more. It's like my daughter.
Yeah, they're apathetic as fuck. They've already given up, and who can blame them?
My daughter was like, I look at where she's at in school, and she is so far ahead of where it's like they know more than we knew back then, and it's not because of the technology. It's because I feel like these old souls are coming into this generation now. These people that have like reincarnated. You know, I mean, I'm in terms of like bloodline incarnation. I believe that physically, you know, not necessarily spiritually, because I mean you could, but I don't think that the soul's journey is that basic. I believe that the grandmother is always reincarnated into the daughter, and that the grandfather is always reincarnated into the son. And I see,
like skipping over a generation.
Yes, it jumps a generation, and I think. When, you know, someone told me this, and then I realized it looking at my bloodline and where I'm at. My grandfather, both of my grandfathers were abusive, nasty people. My grandfather on my dad's side beat the shit out of my fucking dad, so bad that they wouldn't let him go to school because of the marks on him. My grandfather on my mom's side was so monetarily fucking influenced that he never spent any time at home with the kids. He would come home on the weekends, and my grandmother would tell him what my aunt, uncle, and mother had done, and he would beat the shit out of them. But like by then, you know, the kids didn't understand that. So it's like, I think we all have missions based on that incarnation. For me, mine is to not carry forward the generational trauma, and I think that's a lot for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people have shitty parents. But I see it. You know, I see it because I look at my grandfather and I'm like, he was a military man. He spent 20 years in the Navy. I felt such a drive to go into the military as a kid. I didn't do it. I tried many times and wasn't patient, you know, or like, hey, we need you to wait this long, and I was like, fuck you, like, I want to go in 6 months, I don't want to wait a year, you know, I want to cap out at 6 months, don't delay entry me, you know, and so.
But following the pattern, do you fear you're raising assholes?
No.
Okay.
I feel that I'm raising.
So you're breaking the cycle.
I'm breaking the cycle. I believe that my daughter, and when I do have more kids, because I do intend on having a large family of at least 4 children, I'm going to raise kids that believe in themselves. They're going to be humble. I'm going to keep my kids humble. I am going to make sure that they understand that they need to be this. They need to be. I mean, like, I feel like if you're living life right, you got to be a little selfish. You got to be a little bit selfish.
Well, you gotta put your
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Put your own mask on before you help the people next to you. You know, so it's like you gotta have. And another.
But you don't steal somebody else's mask.
Right.
It doesn't work.
Right. So like, okay. So imagine this, right? So like, the three of us are sitting in a circle, and at the center of the circle, we have the secret to like immortality, or the secret to a happy life. What do you think like? And this could be any three people, right? It doesn't have to be the three of us. With the three of us, you know, it would be a bit different, I think. But you put three people around this, and that's the secret to immortality. What do you think the most likely outcome is?
Well, they're gonna kill each other trying to get it.
There'll be a war. There'll be a war over it.
Probably.
Yeah. So like, it boils down to like that whole put your own oxygen. You have to fix yourself before you start fixing other people. And we live in a generation right now where people really aren't interested in the whole healing.
Well, they're not interested in healing themselves. They
Right.
try to heal each other, but because they're so always looking for validation.
Or that's
Or
it.
they're
That's the word.
self-diagnosing.
Well, that too. But then they wear like
Then again, that's
leads back to
validation
like
as
the
well.
gal that I was dating. She wore her autism like a badge of honor. I'm autistic.
But how many fucking people actually have these things? Or they're just saying it.
How many people
And they
identify it?
kinda have it placebically.
Well, sure, because
Because they keep saying it.
I think what people don't realize is that in the DSM, in order to actually be qualified, is I like to say living with and not being like I'm not autistic. I live with autism.
Yeah.
But like you
like
don't
that.
just have to have one
In the
or
sense
two
that it can move
of the
out.
symptoms.
Yeah.
You have to consistently experience 7, 8, or 9 of them. Like there's all these different. It's not just like
Yeah.
oh well I have ADHD and I count things. No.
Well,
That's not
especially
it.
when you're saying like girls, your ex or whatever was just like, oh well, I have autism. And you're like, but it only comes up when you fuck up.
Do you know what the funny thing about it is that she would sit there and be like, but there are people, like she would tell me, she would explain to me, there are people that, you know, use this as like a form of like, of manipulation. And then she'd be like, oh, and there's people that use sex as a form of manipulation, like a form of control. And then she would do those things.
Right.
And so like, obviously I picked up on it and I was like, okay, well like, and so like, you know, I'm all about, hey, people can grow. But like what it really broke down to is when I was in crisis mode and I quit I haven't quit nicotine fully yet, obviously. But I quit for like 2-3 months. But she was there for like I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to try to quit this. And like, I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be hard to be around me. Like, I'm going to be irritable. And she told me, she's like, oh, I've been around, she was one of the people that's like, I've been around people that are on hard drugs my whole life. So I'm like, okay, so you know what withdrawal's like. It's like, you got me on this, right? Like, we got to do this together, right? Anytime I was a little bit edgy or on edge or had something to say, she would just throw it in my face. It would just blow up. And then I told her, like, every time I'm like, dude, I just need a fucking hug. And then she'd be like, oh, you don't deserve a hug. You haven't earned a hug. You know, you haven't performed the necessary requisites.
But none of that shit has to do with autism.
And she would blame that on her autism and
But
her
you
trauma.
can't.
Oh, of course.
And her
It's
trauma.
unrelated.
It's her
It's
trauma.
unrelated.
But that's
she
the
needs
popular
somebody
thing
to
to do.
point that out.
But a person locked into that victim mentality will use that.
They'll use it until people stop listening
Yeah,
to it.
until.
And if you're
yeah.
a pretty girl, that's a long time. And that sucks for you more than anyone else,
Well,
not you, her. But
Well, I mean, like, she's so
Yeah.
desperate for fucking to try to get back into my life that she's like sent me emails and shit, like absolutely nuts, dude. Like I like the first one was like, you were there when I got the first one. I was like, let's plug this shit into AI real quick and see if it's sincere. And the AI said it was sincere. And I'm saying,
Yeah, right. I told you just dump it into AI. Psychoanalyze it.
well, like the AI even said it sounded sincere.
Yeah.
But like the AI was being manipulated because like then, you know, like 3 weeks later she sends me a follow up. Hey, some things are going wrong in my life right now. And well, AI didn't nail it because the AI said that it was sincere. And I didn't think it was, I was like, there's no way in hell.
it's
Like
possible that she had AI write a sincere.
True, but why you do that shit? Women, she sounds like the type of chick that would write out a letter like on her own.
I'm gonna be honest, like she doesn't really have anything fucking better to do.
Right. She probably found it like.
She probably spam wrote 13 versions of that thing. From what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, like not like I don't really have I have no interest in fucking re-involving myself, like, because the mother of my child was the same way. Like, literally the cycle repeated itself, like, that's a pattern that I've recognized. So, like, even though, I went and asked that chick for her number at Del Taco, I haven't messaged her, I haven't called her, I have no interest in messaging or calling her, because I realized, like, the first step in my pattern is always looking at someone else and being like, oh, I like that. But, like, and I love who I am, right? But my biggest problem is compromisation. I don't even think that's a word. My biggest problem is being too compromising.
Your biggest problem is boundaries? Because holding boundaries with people is how you don't compromise yourself.
Yeah, but also I have a tendency to pick people that I feel like need my help, and so I feel like a sense of sympathy for them, and so, like, that's why in a way I keep them around. But, like, with this last one, it made me realize, like, God, bro, like, I mean, before she came along, my money was fucking awesome. I mean, yeah, I was working 2 jobs, I was exhausted, but, like, was making $5 grand a month. Like, I had that bag. That bag was here. I was able to afford everything that I fucking could ever want. Now, I didn't have any spare time to fucking enjoy those things. But
you sacrifice your time for your future self.
And for the future of my daughter, really.
Right.
But it also bit me in the ass because I ended up quitting that job. I ended up quitting one of my jobs and taking full time at the dispensary so I could spend more time with her. Because, like, I was like, okay, I'll make enough money. And then, like, and now, like, I'm scraping by. Like, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I could go, but it all worked to my benefit, really. Because, one, okay, I'm not working 2 jobs. The money is, okay, I'm making it month to month. Some months I can invest money a little bit. Some months I can't. Some months I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. I just had to fucking get on the payment plan with the IRS because I worked those 2 jobs and fucking owe the government $5,000. And so, like, I can't, obviously now I'm not working 2 jobs, so it's not like, oh, I can pay you back in like 3 months. It's like, I got you guys in a few years and you guys can fucking take my dependent credits and shit, and I'll liquidate some of my 401k and shit, but, like, there's nothing I can do. And it's like, at the end of the day, what can I do really anyhow? And I can't go back and work a second job because I've realized that money isn't what makes me happy. This kind of shit makes me happy. I always wanted to run a podcast. I always wanted to have a D&D campaign I was running every week. And now I have those things, and I'm like, am I willing to sacrifice that just so that I have the instant gratification of money? And my answer is no.
But money's the root of all evil, so.
Well, yeah, so I won't give in. I won't give in. The universe is gonna. I put my faith in my guides, in God, and the universe, man. God being both the eternal mother and the eternal father. You know, the earth that we stand on and the creator of the earth. You know, not to say the creator of the universe, because I don't think that the universe was like created by an entity. I just think it was always here. But I definitely think the earth was created. I definitely think that we were created. The bodies were created, but the soul is immortal. You know, that's my belief. And just to tie it all back, because we gotta tie it out tonight. But I want to tie it all back to, you know, authenticity. I think is the name of the game, and I think we can all agree on that. And
if you be authentic, you will find your genuine community.
Exactly.
And when you find that, anything's possible.
Yeah. And
that's a good point.
I think love is
they'll genuinely support you.
Love is the way. If you find something that you hate, don't focus on that. Find something else that you love.
Well, you'll have way more in common.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have in common with someone that hates something that you hate besides the fact that you both hate that one thing?
Maybe something else, but if that's the basis of your friendship, then that's not great. But that's like war storying in rehab to try to find friends.
Community is people that have been through similar events, maybe not, but have come to the same results.
Yeah, but you know, love each other. I'm gonna plug our well, I don't even need to plug our YouTube channel because this is where it's going up. But you can. I'm gonna let everyone plug themselves. You can find me on Spotify at well, actually, you can't find me under Spotify under my current label, so don't worry about Spotify. But you can find me on SoundCloud at 7H3Chazzy. You can find me on TikTok under 7H3Chazzy. TikTok is where we stream it every week. Wednesdays and sometimes on Sundays as well. Andy, do you have anything that you want to plug?
I don't know my social handles offhand because I hate social media, so sorry.
I don't even have them. But I am running the YouTube, moderating the YouTube channel, so if anyone has any comments,
Yeah, drop them down below.
drop them down.
Yeah, give us a like, a sub, and a subscribe, man. And you won't be disappointed. We put out new content every week. You know, we're always going to be here doing this. Even if we don't have
And even if you disagree with what we're saying, let us know.
yeah, please.
That's
please.
the
So we can
interesting
talk
thing.
about it.
Yeah,
I
we
want-
want. I
yes,
want to
yeah.
hear other points of
Yeah,
view.
and that perfectly ties it back to the beginning. It's just let's talk to each other. Let's not find reasons to scream at each other. If you genuinely disagree with someone, I want you to have a conversation with them and talk with them about why you're upset, and then maybe learn from their point of view, and be like,
And they will learn from yours.
yeah, and observe, and then realize that we all have a lot more in common than meets the eye.
How many times have you met someone and they're exactly like what you thought?
Yeah,
It's never.
yeah. There's almost always a
It's
story.
never. So you probably have an idea about your neighbor that there's some jackass or asshole.
Yeah,
And then you finally, after years, people end up walking over. Walk over tomorrow. You know, don't wait forever. Just have an open conversation. These people are not. If you can't connect, you'll know right away.
and if you
But you keep it civil.
you know, I tell my daughter something pretty important.
Just,
It's
hey, neighbor, if you need anything, let me know. I'm here to help.
like, if you don't like
Yeah,
what
we're
someone,
neighbors.
if you don't like what someone has to say, and you don't have anything constructive to add to the conversation, walk away. And on that note, we're gonna head out of here. Thanks for watching the 3-star review, and we'll see you in the next one.
Spokojnej noche.